Yo, back with episode 68, 67. I keep meaning to record these, then it gets super late in the night because I'm working Bali time, working UK time. Episode 67. And then it gets to like midnight and I'm like, fuck, I've not recorded anything. And the irony is I'm pretty much doing what I did back in London while I'm in Bali, which is kind of just work all the time, go to the gym. Although I do spend a few hours in the morning. I like get up at like 8, work for like 2-3 hours like I normally do, but then instead what's different is I'll go to the gym and sunbathe for like 3 hours, combined period with lunch and shit, between like 11, maybe 2, maybe 3 if I'm really dragging, and then from like 3 till 11 p.m. or midnight I'm pretty much at my desk and I've got a little home villa setup going. I call it like the fucking scale cupboard because it's basically like a cupboard in this villa. We did have Jordan Hill, who's famous, who was on the pod twice. He built my website. He came over for like 4 days. He was meant to be here 2 weeks. Broke his fucking foot on the first day or second day, which I thought he was exaggerating. Went home to get it seen to. Sent me proof of the X-ray. So hopefully he gets better soon. But yeah, I'm gonna try and not ramble for once because it's fucking late. And I told myself I'd make a video because it's been a week. But yeah, basically the theme is just simplifying everything. I feel like I've massively overcomplicated everything in the business. I tweeted about this the other day and it's something I've been thinking about a lot recently, and it's one of those things where, well, the same with everything, and also I've had a terrible Balinese haircut today, ignoring that for a sec, but the same with everything. I end up feeling stupid in hindsight when I think about something and have a kind of realization, which is always probably going to be the process, and maybe it's a sign that I am getting better and learning and fucking learning from my mistakes and so on. But at the end of the day, I launched this business with the intention to be simple, like 2 years ago. One SKU, one channel, one market to start with. Granted, we've expanded a bit of all of those, more SKUs, still primarily one. More than one market, but still primarily one. More than one channel, but again, still primarily one. And I think I've just deviated away from... I've just brought in too much fluff, like really. I mean, I gave some examples before, and like, we've got over 100 products, well, we did until like this week in the back end on Shopify, when basically we've got one hero bundle, which is like the starter kit. We've been running like 25 different landing pages when actually we turned almost all of them off in the past few days, just focused on the product page, the PDP, optimizing that, and that's already converting better. CPA is reduced. Working with too many agencies, like little things like, I don't want to call anyone out, but it's like, got an agency for TikTok Shop, got an agency for Amazon, got an agency for retail, got an agency doing ad creative, got an agency doing Meta, got a different agency doing Google, a different agency doing something else, which I've forgotten, CRO, and another one doing bits of landing pages and other stuff. It's like, fucking hell, it's just too much cost, too much complication, too much headspace, too much stuff to manage that ends up meaning you're not doing any of the real work. And yeah, I feel like I seem to hit a plateau every few months, which kind of feel like we're hitting again now. And usually it's like, well, we need to strip back, get focused again, cut the bullshit, cut costs that have crept up, which they always do, get rid of all the noise, and just ultimately, like, really in my mind, we should just do more of what we're already doing and do it better. More flavors, going deep on improving the product rather than trying to launch something new. You know, I've done a few of those new products over the past 2 years. I don't think any of them were a slam dunk compared to the first one in Rainbow Dust. And yeah, it's like basic shit. But I feel like, at least for me, by default, I know it's basic shit. But then in the pursuit of trying to scale quicker, get better results, build a more sustainable long-term business, blah, 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 not rely on myself for everything. In the pursuit of those things, I end up unintentionally adding a lot more fluff than needs to be, unintentionally adding more complication, more cost, more headaches. And when you strip it back, it's like, just do one thing very well. At least for my business. It's not the same for everyone, but I think for me right now, it's focus on performance content, focus on optimizing the offer and conversion rate on one page instead of fucking 20 of them. Focus on very few very good team members and or agencies rather than 7 agencies plus 8 people plus a few consultants. Like, it's just got way too bloated recently, which slows things down. Results get worse, margins get slimmer in every sense. And yeah, I think the theme for the next few months is just simplify, double down, trim the fat, basically. And I think that's what's going to get us from where we are now to 2x, 3x where we are now in the next year. And that's certainly the goal. And yeah, another side note, this is the longest time I've ever worked on one brand specifically, or solely one brand. And that might sound crazy because it's only been 25 months or 2 years and 1 month, which it feels like it's gone really quick, but also feels like that's taken a lifetime to only be 2 years. But yeah, like previous brands, my previous PB, I think was like 22 months of solo work on one brand before I either launched something else or started working on new ideas, etc. Maybe even not that, maybe even like 20 months. So yeah, I seem to hit a 2 year point, and I don't know, shit just gets hard after 2 years because I've never done 2 years before, which is crazy because it probably takes 5, 7, even 10 years to build a proper brand, a big one. Maybe 5, I think it's probably better. That's what I'm aiming for. But yeah, the honeymoon period is definitely over, and I feel like I've become a bit of a slave to my own business recently because of the fact that I've introduced too much complication, too much cost, too many people, too many agencies. And it's like, fuck, I do want to build a big business, but I want to build a business with lots of customers, not lots of bullshit and jargon and too many people and too much fluff, because I do think some companies and startups particularly kind of optimize around how big their team is rather than how big the business is. They are different things. Often they are correlated, but not all the time. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking about. Build a big business, think big, act small, focus on the main things, really focus on revenue per head, focus on deep work, over staring at a screen, doing fluff for 15 hours, focus on quality over quantity in product, revenue, customers, cohorts, team members. Yeah, I think as I'm getting older as well, I just want a more simple, I'd rather go deep than wide on like everything I'm doing. And that applies to business, life, setup, fucking people and relationships, financially, mentally, physically. Do a few things very well and focus on the main things. So yeah, I'm rambling, and I probably already have done 10 minutes or something, but that's kind of the theme right now. I made a video a week ago. It's been much the same. Bit of sun, a lot of work, looking more tanned, got a terrible Balinese haircut. But I felt like I had to put this in because it's a big topic of mine right now, and trying to figure out where that line is between adding stuff in that's relevant to grow, but also just keeping stuff simple and focusing on the main thing. Like, I think we're all guilty, and I'm definitely very fucking guilty of thinking, surely it can't be this simple. When actually, usually probably fucking can. And on that note, subscribe to the pod. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.